tried to hide. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lee. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your very important and positive work in your position now and throughout your career on hate crimes and many other civil rights issues before our nation. These issues are only increasing in importance, and I think your testimony today reaffirms that we can do even more to improve the law that we passed just recently, and I want to join in commending my partner in that effort, Senator Hirono, as well as the Civil Rights Division for all that you did. We are hopefully on the verge of approving an omnibus budget bill that will provide the funding we anticipated for implementing that measure. And that funding would go in part to police departments, correct?
That's correct, Senator.
And I might just emphasize, rather than defunding the police, in fact, the Civil Rights Division and all of us who advocated for this measure want more funding to go to police, more support financially for them, and not only in hate crimes, but in counseling, where police have the really deeply challenging job of intervening in domestic disputes or other kinds of confrontations where they may be at risk, as well as the public. More funding, more support, more resources is what we want. And hate crimes is a good example where they will be recipients of the money that we have included in the hate crimes bill that we passed. And along with community organizations and states, hopefully mount efforts to educate, to investigate, and prosecute. So my question is, will you be ready to begin taking grants, applications from police departments and others who may be seeking this funding as soon as we're able to approve it?
Thank you, Senator Blumenthal. Yes, the department has already started to distribute grants in calendar year 2021 and is looking forward to Congress appropriating funds in fiscal year 2022. The department has already begun the work and is ready to institute those grants and is simply waiting for the allocation of funds to move forward with that important work.
Would you agree that there's really no state or community, for that matter, that is immune from hate crimes, and that police departments and community organizations around the country would do well to consider applying for these grants?
Yes, absolutely. We see hate crimes in every corner of our country, urban and rural areas. We see them targeting people who are Jewish and Muslim. We see hate crimes targeting people who are Black, Latino, Asian American. In every corner of our country, we know that hate is pervasive, and we want to ensure that our law enforcement agencies that are on the front lines of this work have the resources and tools needed to stand up to the problem. There is an appendix attached to my testimony that talks about some of the grant-making work carried out by our Office of Justice Programs. This is a critical part of the department's approach to fighting hate.
And I hope that you'll be receiving and maybe making grants to some applications coming from Connecticut, because every state, every community has a stake in this issue. And I hope that we can work together on further improvements in the law. One of the suggestions, just to give an example, is that there are some kinds of threats that perhaps should be prosecutable. There are very strong First Amendment interests at play and deeply involved that we want to avoid infringing on. But have you thought about the potential for threats as a target of prosecution?
Thank you, Senator. We have identified this as an area where we could do more if we had the tools that Congress gives us to do so. And we look forward to working with this committee to studying that issue further and helping you all identifying a path forward.
Because the present law, 18 United States Code 249, I think it is, talks about willful bodily injury, but not threats. It talks about potentially attempts, but the idea that some kinds of fighting words, to use the Supreme Court analysis, or similar kinds of direct bodily harm imminently and directly threatened could aid in your preventing and deterring these kinds of hate crimes. So I thank you. I don't know whether you have any more comments on that.
I don't, except that the department and our Office of Legislative Affairs would welcome the opportunity to help Congress study this issue further and to help this committee study that issue further.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thanks,
Chairman,
Mr.
would
Chair.
you allow me to make unanimous consent request to make a document part of the record?
Of course.
Thank you very much.